Number 31. What happens as a result of mitosis? Okay, so you want to switch. Okay, so what happens as a result of mitosis? Okay, yes, the answer is B. Genetically identical cells are produced. Chromosome number is halved. No, okay. Only genetically identical cells are exposed. Mitosis is the reproduction. Any ways? Okay, any tips for ways of solving? Now, you mean in general, right? So first of all, it comes mitosis is the how normal cells do cell division. Normal cells, mitosis is for normal cells. Meiosis is for your sex cells. Right? So since mitosis is for normal cells, they are making identical cells where the number of chromosomes is maintained. Okay, whereas in meiosis, chromosome number is halved because they're making sex cells. Right? Tips when answering question. Okay, I would say you really need to read the questions properly lah. Yeah, make sure you pay attention to the questions. Okay, reading is everything. Normally bio is pretty okay lah, I would say, because in this case, you don't try and go too fast. I know in the beginning, right? Everyone wants to go really fast in the beginning because usually the harder questions are at the end. Don't do that, right? Pace yourself, right? Pace yourself because in the end, all these questions are worth the same amount of marks. Okay, so don't rush lah. Okay, and then of course, if you have extra time, do the checking. And as for the questions themselves, right? If you don't know the answer, right? I like to tell this to my students that, but if you don't know the answer, right, you can always try and find the answer through the process of elimination, right? Eliminate the ones you confirm know is not the right answer, and then if you really don't know, take your chance. No choice. All right. And if you don't know, you think about it, you can skip to the next question, come back. 32, which parents could produce offspring with blood group O? The number 32, this one says, okay, which one can produce with homozygous? Yeah, the answer would be A. Heterozygous father with blood group A and heterozygous mother with blood group B. All right, so this one, let's say this one you kind of just have to know lah. I don't know how to, you really cannot really explain this one. If you want, you can just memorize it lah. The best way is just to memorize it. If you already very good, you can just like memorize the thing lah. Number 33, the development of antibiotic resistant AA or AA. This one is homo, this is hetero. Number 33, the development of antibiotic resistant bacteria is an example of natural selection. Okay, when it comes to antibiotic resistant bacteria, it's all about chances of survival. We have a few bacteria here that infected the body. If you're going to take antibiotics, kill off a few, right? 1 dose of antibiotics, 2 doses of antibiotics, 3 doses of antibiotics, 4 doses, but the complete dose was apparently 5 doses. You just thought, oh, I'm well, so don't take the 5th dose. And there's 1 remaining bacteria here, and this bacteria will reproduce, and the offspring will be more resistant towards the antibiotic. And this process will go on and on and on until you have an antibiotic resistant bacteria. Okay, natural selection, survival of the fittest. That one was the fittest. It was the most resistant to the antibiotic, so it was the last to get killed, and so it was able to pass on its resistant genes to the next generation. Artificial selection. Okay, artificial selection is usually done by humans. We do this to benefit ourselves, right? Usually done in like farming like that. Okay, when producing something, like example, like the fat chicken. You know, last time our chicken's very skinny, now very fat. How did we get skinny chickens to fat chickens? We chose the fat chickens and made them breed among themselves. So we artificially chose them to be the ones that pass on their genes to the next generation in hopes that the next generation will give fatter chicken. That is artificial selection. Number 34. What is the correct definition of gene mutation? Right? Gene mutation would be a change in the base sequence of DNA. Now, gene mutation, it happens all the time. This will happen when your DNA gets affected, whether it's by whether it's by some kind of outside interference. Okay, outside interference, it could be like stress, or it could be something else that could have affected the DNA. Okay, a disease maybe, or it's just when your cells copy the DNA when they do cell division, they just copied it wrong. So the genes got mutated now, it changed. Number 35, energy flows through a food chain. In which form does the energy first enter the food chain? Light. Why? Because at the beginning of the food chain, we have the producers, which are the plants. How do the plants get energy in the first place? From the sun, which is light energy. And then from then on, the plant will make its own food, which then gets passed on to the next animal and so on.